Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm going to share my screen in a second, but before I do, my interest in artificial intelligence really began just as a curiosity. In my other life, I'm both a writer and a content creator, and I was intrigued by the possibility of multiplying my creative output. And so during that process, I really found that I was able to use artificial intelligence to hack my mentoring a little bit. And what I mean when I say that is, as Budley referred to either improve the quality of my output without making any additional effort, or reduce the amount of time that I was able to commit to any one client while keeping my output the same. Either one of those would have been considered a positive outcome. And so I have an example of that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. But before I do, just a brief personal commentary. I've used artificial intelligence, not just on this committee, I've mentioned before in some other creative endeavors. I've cloned some voices, I've made some videos, I've even written some music. Though I have absolutely no training as a musician whatsoever. And each one of those tools I found to be really easy to interact with, very intuitive to use. You're going to see in a moment, in fact, ChatGPT would have to be described as simple to use. And so it's interesting to me that unlike other previous technologies, artificial intelligence requires no new learning on our part to engage with it. And so it's really an opportunity for all of us, even if you're not necessarily technologically inclined, to jump in. And so our hope is that this presentation begins some of that experimentation for you, and even a more robust conversation in the chapter on how we use AI in our mentoring. So let me share my screen. And so all of you will recognize this or something similar to it. This is just a summary email that I sent to a client after an initial meeting. We all do these or something very similar like this, but this one is a little different for me, at least, in that this one was prepared knowing that I was going to later use it to engage with artificial intelligence, again, in this case, ChatGPT. And so knowing that, I wanted to follow as I created this some of the rules that are already known on how to interact with artificial intelligence to make sure to get the output that I wanted. And so one of the first things they say is, when you're dealing with artificial intelligence, write as if you're writing for a fifth grader. And so you'll notice my commentary here is very simple and direct. It's light on adverbs, it's light on extras and unnecessaries. But here's something that I wanted to point out specifically, and you see this area that I've got highlighted here. Nothing is left assumed when you're working with ChatGPT or any of the chatbots, because as Budley said earlier, they will make stuff up. And so if you leave things assumed, the artificial intelligence will fill in the blank. And so what I want to show you here is just one example in this email that I did. Normally when I give out an assignment, I just hit the record button and I make the video available to the client if I've given out an assignment. But in this case, I wanted ChatGPT to know the assignment as well. And so I took an extra 30 seconds and I dropped that in here just so that ChatGPT would make no assumptions. But I want to be clear that everything I've done so far, I have not expended any extra time. I've done this just in my regular course of mentoring, with just the one small exception of a little additional awareness that I had as I wrote that introductory or summary email. And so, but I wanted to do more for Cynthia. That's this particular client here. I wanted to do more for Cynthia than just give her a summary and a game plan of my intentions with her. And thinking about how I could do that, it occurred to me that both SCORE and YouTube content libraries have all the information that Cynthia is going to need to be able to accomplish just about any project that she wants to. In fact, I wished that I had recommended more videos when I send these out previously. I had thought about that before. They're great tools for clients. They can keep them focused between sessions. The research into a topic can expose if they've made errors in their thinking to get to this point, or other mistakes they might have made. A very crucial part of mentoring. And also on either the SCORE site or on YouTube, they're going to be able to get content specific information in a way that as mentors, we can't really provide. I'm certainly not an expert on every content topic. And so all good reasons to give not just Cynthia, but in fact, every initial consultation that I have with the new client, a well-researched list of videos selected specifically to match their goal. But the problem is that the SCORE and the YouTube content libraries are vast. To do it right for each client, to search out what their needs are based on my understanding of their circumstances, I calculated that it would take an extra hour at least to prepare a list like this for each client. And that's a lot of hours. We're all limited in that way. And so I probably would have had to do this for each client. I probably would have had to cut down on the number of new clients that I accept. And so I struggled with that because with such a large amount of our first calls that never even make it to a second call, I just deemed it to be a bad ROI, despite the fact that it bothered me because I really did feel like I missed an opportunity to expose clients to a vast reserves of knowledge that would help them succeed. And particularly, it was bothering me that that was happening at a time when they're most likely to be enthusiastic and willing to learn about their project. And that's right at the beginning. And so my solution to that was to use ChatGPT, which I'm going to open up in a second. But before I do, I just want to switch tabs here to the prompt. And Budley spoke a little bit about the prompt, and prompt writing itself is already a career, even though this technology is only 6 months or a year old. And so I'm going to just quickly ignore the theory of prompt writing for now, leave that for another session, and just show you quickly what I did while using similar principles writing for a 5th grader. And so what I did first here in just 3 simple paragraphs, I told ChatGPT, for starters, you are a SCORE mentor and you are responsible for recommending videos which will advance their knowledge. Now, I also wanted to make sure that it understood how I wanted to recommend videos. In this case, I wanted ChatGPT to recommend videos based on what I felt was important, because I'm still the lead mentor here. And so I told it, read my notes, and based on my notes, you're going to suggest other videos. And then I also put in here some sort of means of selecting the videos. I don't want all the stuff from the bottom of the barrel. I want ChatGPT to recommend the most highly regarded, the highest number of reviews, or the highest number of comments, or something that would make sure that my return would be what I was looking for. And so what I did was just take these 2 documents, and this is a simple ChatGPT screen. If you've never seen it, this is it. The entire thing is as complicated as a Google search bar. And so you'll notice right down here where it says send a message, just to save a little time, I've already got the introductory email and the prompt already here. So here's my prompt right here. And here's my introductory email. All I did was copy and paste that. So now I have spent no more than 3 or 4 extra minutes. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. So here you can see this is a copy of my work, copy and pasted. And there it goes. Right from the start, you'll notice I'm already happy. ChatGPT got the message. Now this information, in fact, which I have spent seconds to gather, is now available to be sent to the customer. And you'll notice I can copy and paste this from here. I can do all sorts of things from here, even edit this. And so, did I say 8? I meant 16 videos. There you go. And that's about how long ChatGPT is going to have to think about it to complete your request. And so here we go. And you'll notice here's Budley. This one's for you, the creating a business elevator pitch. You'll notice that they included all the information we asked for, which is the title, the link. I do know that some of these links probably don't work because to Budley's point, sometimes it does. If it can't find something exactly as it wants, it will sometimes make it up. but you can see the basically possibilities, to improve your mentoring. And so this is just one example of how I was able to do it. In fact, I've used ChatGPT or some other format like this a dozen, maybe more, several dozen times in my mentoring already. And for the most part, I have found excellent results, not in my ability to add value, as is the case here, but also in my ability to cut down on the amount of time that I spend working with mentors to get the output that we want. And in addition to that, to save the mentees, the clients, a tremendous amount of time by introducing them to ChatGPT. So things like large requests for proposals, business plans, social media calendars, and social media content, except for in certain circumstances. I don't use time on our sessions any longer to create these. We always start with ChatGPT, and then we can just edit them down much more quickly from there. And so what's next for artificial intelligence in the mentoring process? We're not really sure. This committee, we're going to continue to talk. We're hoping that this presentation is just the beginning of that conversation. We do know that there's interest from SCORE nationally. Mark, thank you for joining us on the call today. Regarding artificial intelligence and what we're doing in this chapter. And so we do see this presentation as just a first step. And if you're already using artificial intelligence in your mentoring, if you'd reach out to one of the four of us, it's Bob, Rakesh, me, or Budley, and let us know how you're using it so we can start accumulating a database of some of that. We have started thinking about how we want to use it. Specifically in this chapter, considering how we can use artificial intelligence to perhaps to support our mentors, perhaps making a prompt library where any mentor, once we had that built, any mentor could just reach in and grab a prompt that they would need and basically attach it to something that they've already written and use it in that way, as well as prompt creation support so that our prompts are getting us the outcomes that we want. And so we're looking forward to your feedback on that. And thank you very much for your attention. I appreciate it.